Let's talk about the phrase, how do you feel? A lot of times as we're preparing for a tournament, people ask you, hey, how you feeling? And really the response is, it doesn't matter. A lot of people think, it's a phrase that we use really often. Hey, how you feeling? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? And that's just a natural greeting, and I think we take that and we kind of apply it into the competition mode. And there's really times where it matters how you're feeling. Let's say you're going through a really tough training cycle in preparation for a tournament or a match, and you're not feeling that great. Maybe it's because you're injured. That's something that you should be listening to. Injuries, we don't want to mess with. We want to make sure that our bodies are taken care of. But just your emotional state, how are you feeling? That's something that, to be honest, you just have to kind of ignore. Now, maybe there's things going on in your life. Maybe you have a family member that's ill. Maybe you break up with your girlfriend. Maybe you're having a hard time getting along with your brother or your sister, or your kids are getting in trouble and you don't know how to do it. And that's also something that's a mental state or a mental injury that we need to take care of and address. But ultimately, when it comes down to the tournament, how do you feel? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you feel great because you did the weight cut correctly. It doesn't matter if you feel horrible because you didn't spend the time dieting and planning your meals to make weight. It doesn't matter if you feel great because you had a great training camp. It doesn't matter if you feel bad because you're up in altitude and you feel kind of sick. It's really important to understand that on the day of a match, if you're going to compete, it really doesn't matter how you feel. Now, maybe you assess your condition and you change stuff. Maybe you have an injury. Maybe you have a nagging injury in your knee or your back. That's something that you need to consider. You need to be mindful of that, and you need to make an appropriate strategic change. If it's so bad that you can't really do what you usually do, maybe it's a tournament that you shouldn't be competing in, even if it's the World Championships or the Pan American Championships. But again, if you are going to compete, how do you feel? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're mentally strong, right? And you're not allowing these outside factors affect your decisions in preparation for that coming tournament. You don't allow any little weaknesses to seep into your mind and allow you to kind of take it easy. In Japanese, there's this word called amae. Amae, we use that to describe kids' actions, right? Amaeru, the kid is amaeru to his mom, right? Maybe he's kind of not kissing up, but he's sucking up to his mom. Mind the expression, but it's like being on the nipple, or people say being on the tit. But you could maybe loosely translate it as that. And most of the time in Japan, they allow their kids to kind of be amae, to have amae. But as an athlete or as a competitor, especially with the elite world-class competitors, you can't allow yourself to be childish, if you will, to give in to those emotional feelings in your training when it gets really tough on your really hard day, to kind of take it easy. And it goes without saying, the same is true if you're in competition. You can't allow yourself to just take it easy on those days. Again, reinforce, reiterate. If somebody asks you, how do you feel? You can respond politely, I feel good, I'm great. Whatever it is that you're feeling. Maybe you feel tired because you didn't get a good night's rest because you were sleeping in a hotel and it wasn't your own bed. Or maybe because of whatever outside reason it is, you don't allow it to influence your mind, right? I really like the idea of not letting things seep in. Don't allow weaknesses seeping into your mind, especially on the day of competition, especially on those tough training days where you have to be tough. And it doesn't matter how you're feeling. It doesn't matter if you worked a 10-hour day or a 60-hour, 70-hour week the week before. On the day of the tournament, everybody's equal, and it's your choice. It's your mental choice that you have to make to not allow that weakness to seep in. So again, when people are asking you, how do you feel? The answer should be simple. I feel great. I feel amazing, right? And don't allow it to interrupt your mindset going into competition.